Welcome everyone to another Summit Security training video. I'm your host, Steve Eves, and we're going to go ahead and get started on setting up port forwarding rules for Hikvision NVRs. So the very first thing that we want to do is we want to find out what the router address is. In order for us to do this, we're going to go to System Preferences, and then we're going to go to Network. Now over here on Networks, we have the IP address that is assigned to the computer. But we want to go to router right there, and that's the IP address for the router. If you look right over here, we are connected via Ethernet, or you can check on Wi-Fi, either way. We're just going to go ahead and go into this. And so before we get going, I want to log into an actual NVR and make sure that we have all this information correct. So I'm going to go ahead and pull up an NVR. And you're going to notice that the default gateway, that's the router. It's the 192.168.1.1, which shows up on our system preferences right there. So that's all set up and good to go. The IP address for the actual NVR is 1.4. And we also have to set up port forwarding for these ports: 81, 10554, 443, and 8080. So these are some ones that we can set up. So I'm going to go ahead and open up a new tab, and I'm going to type in my router address so we can set up port forwarding rules. So it's going to prompt me to set up these rules, and so I'm going to go ahead and put admin, and then on Netgear it's traditionally password. So you have admin and then password. And so we're going to go ahead and set up this. Now this is an older Netgear system. Check the image for the newer one where it has the basic and advanced setup. On the newer ones, just go ahead and click on advanced. I'm just going to scroll down and look for advanced over here. So we have advanced right here on that. And I'm going to look for port forwarding. And on Netgear, you're going to find that and you're going to click on that. So we have some rules. I've already set up some rules before, but I'm going to go ahead and set up the rules for the NVR. So I'm going to hit add custom service. And then I'm going to go ahead and name this NVR, and I've done this a few times so you can see that, NVR-1. And then I want to make sure it's on TCP and UDP, or both on the new one is what it'll say. And so you're going to go ahead and say 81, and the ending port is 81, and we want it at the .4 address. If you forgot, just go back over here. Here's 81, and then you go back over to this, and the IP address that we want to assign it to is 1.4. So we go ahead and do that. I hit apply, and it's going to go ahead and add that at the very bottom. So I add another custom service. I say NVR-2, and then if I forgot the port, we just go back, look at the port. So it's 10554. If you want to copy that, you can. And make sure it's both TCP and UDP. 10554, 10554, and make sure it's at the number IP address 1.4. I'm going to go ahead and hit apply. So now I'm going to go ahead and log out on my Mac side. I'm going to show you on the PC so you can look to see how to find it. So I'm going to go ahead and log out. I'm going to leave this open up for right now. And I'm going to go over to PC. I'm going to get it started. So the very first thing you want to do is go over to your start menu and just type in CMD. That's going to open up your command prompt. And when you have CMD, you're going to go ahead and select ipconfig/all. And this is going to tell us all the IP addresses that are assigned. So we have all this information. We have all this stuff. We don't care about this. We're going to go right here to the default gateway. You see this? That's what you're going to be looking for on a PC. This will tell you the IP address. If we remember from the Mac, we come over here. The router is the 1.1. Look, on the PC it's the 1.1. So we're going to go ahead and open up a browser, use Internet Explorer, and we're going to go ahead and do this. So 192.168.1, and we're going to go ahead and see how it prompts us to get the admin. And on the default is password. And so that setup looks exactly the same thing, just a little bit different. The buttons are a little bit different. So we're going to go over to Advanced tab, Port Forwarding, and see how we have NVR1 and NVR2. Let's go ahead and add a custom service, and let's finish this out. So we're going to go ahead and put NVR-3. And I can't remember what the ports were, so I'm going to go back over to here. Oh yeah, 443. So I'm going to go ahead and say 443, 443, and this is for, oh, wrong, 192, tab, and then I hit apply, and it's going to go ahead and add that in. So you see that. Let's add one more. So hit custom service, add a custom service. We're going to go ahead and hit NVR-4, and then that one was 80, oh, not 8-8 80, 80, 80, 80. And we come over here and put 4, hit apply, and you're good to go. You're going to have all those set up. Now, it should automatically, you should be able to pull up remote viewing as long as you have DNS server set up. Now, usually we use Google, which is just 4 8s, 8.8.8 and 8.8.4. And so those are just the DNS servers that we traditionally use unless the internet service provider specifies those. So all you have to do on a PC is go to the command prompt. So type in cmd, and then you type in IP config, oh, make sure I'm not capitalized, IP config /all, and you're going to go look for the default gateway. That'll tell you what the IP address of that router is. Now traditionally Netgear, they usually are a 1.1 address. If you have any questions, you can always look at the router. It usually has it on the router what the IP address is for that router. Or you can just Google it, say, hey, this is the type of router, and it'll give you the default IP address if you just Google that. So whether you're on a PC or a Mac, it doesn't matter. You just have to find the router address, and you can set up port forwarding rules. I hope you've enjoyed this quick tip on how to set up port forwarding rules for Hikvision cameras. Thank you, and have a great day.